So far we have talked about ledger. To make it very clear, let's understand what is the difference between the journal and ledger. So we'll give the basis of distinction. Number one, the difference between the journal and ledger is in its name itself. I mean, we call both as books, but journal is called as book of original entry, or it is called as book of primary entry, whereas ledger is called as a main book of entry, or book of the secondary entry, or even called as a final entry. Okay, so in the name, I mean, in mentioning it as book itself, we have the difference. The second difference can be in terms of stage. That is, when entries are made in journal, when entries are made in ledger. In journal, recording of entries happens first, right? First entries are made in journal, and only in the second stage entries are made in ledger. And the third difference can be in terms of its process. I mean, the process of recording entries in books, or say in journal, is called as journalizing. The process of recording the business transactions. Whereas the process of recording entries in the ledger is called as posting. So there is a technical difference in terms of name. I mean, what you do in journal, what you record in journal is called as journalizing, whereas what you record in ledger is called as posting. The fourth difference can be in terms of transactions. In journal, transactions relating to a person or a property or an expense are spread over. Everything is spread over. I mean, it will record everything. If you take a journal book, you will have all transactions relating to a person, a property, expense, loss, income, gain, it goes. But in ledger, transactions relating to that particular account only recorded. Okay, in ledger, transactions relating to a particular account are found together on a particular page. That is more important. The fifth difference is in terms of net effect. In journal, you cannot find the net effect. In journal, you cannot find what is the net or final position. Final position is not possible. Final position of a particular account cannot be ascertained from journal. But final position is possible in ledger. Here it is not possible. Final position is not possible in journal, but it is possible in ledger. The sixth point is the transfer to the next stage. I'll call it as next stage. That is, once you make entries in journal, these entries have to be transferred to ledger. And in ledger, once you make entries, then from ledger you have to prepare what is known as trial balance, and then final accounts have to be prepared. The seventh difference is reliance by tax authorities. Whether tax authorities are going to accept or going to rely on journal, no, but they rely on ledger for tax assessment purposes.